when I started really studying frequencies, I realized that modern science continues to explore all the applications of frequency in all these various fields. So, for instance, in medicine and in healthcare, and the things that we do in holistic healthcare, these frequency are used to diagnose imaging technologies and imaging techniques such as ultrasounds. We're all familiar with ultrasounds, right? We're all familiar with magnetic resonant imaging, which is basically MRIs. These technologies rely specifically on frequencies to produce detailed images of the body's internal structures, basically gives us a blueprint and a three-dimensional look at a person's body. So when you lay in a tube and you're going through an MRI or a CAT scan or an ultrasound, basically it's shooting frequencies up and down through your body to create this three-dimensional model of your body. And so again, it's very fascinating that we don't talk like that in the medical and scientific world, although we understand it. We understand that all of this testing and these diagnostics and these incredible systems and these pieces of technology that are in most all hospitals and now in a lot of doctors' office, they're basically all frequency based. Now, many of you probably never even thought about that before. But again, if you're not in that area, if you're not in that part of the particular health science, then you wouldn't really have any reason to question that or even understand what that is. So so let me just shift gears just real quickly because I want to talk not just about medical and health sciences, but what about environmental sciences? So when you look at environmental science, there's a ton of research that shows that frequencies of natural phenomenon really to help better understand, and many scientists will say protect our ecosystems. For example, when you monitor the frequencies of animal calls, basically these animal calls go into all of these different populations and dynamics and habit changes and how animals live and react and how they move and how they migrate together. There's all these studies that these frequencies of these seismic waves basically, and once we understand the different calls of these animals, it helps us understand and predict really kind of what's happening with the animal population and the ecosystems. Now, I don't understand that part of it because I haven't studied that part of it, but there's tons of research out there that suggests that. Now, there's also studies of when you talk about, and I use the word seismic waves, but when you think about scientists that are trying to predict or mitigate the impacts of earthquakes, we talked about my experience with earthquakes with my wife, in Las Vegas. Again, that's a very powerful thing, but these seismic waves, when they can predict where the epicenter is and they can predict where the plate tectonics and all the kind of stuff that I had forgotten so many years ago of study, and that when you looked at them, when you studied your geology and your mathematics and your physics, and so when you put all that together, you go, how does frequency actually help that? Well, when you study those waves, when you study those earthquakes, there are scientists that say that we can predict really the impact of those earthquakes. We can't stop them from happening, but a lot of times we can predict when they're going to happen. And they use frequency as part of their technology to help predict and mitigate those impacts. So again, it's very fascinating. Now, where's all this going? So where's the future of frequency when you look at research, when you look at medical applications, and when you look at our own understanding right now of how frequency is deepening now, more and more people are talking about frequencies. New possibilities and applications are continually emerging. There's so much advances in technology and medicine and science right now that are using frequency and frequency-based medicine. It's just mind-blowing. Now, many of us have been in this for a long time. And so we feel like some of it is justified and some of it's we're getting rewarded for our research and we're getting rewarded for some of our effort that we put in. And there's so many people that have come decades before us. The frequency technology has been around for 5 or 6 or 7 decades. And most people are like, how is that possible? Well, again, if you look at Nikola Tesla, he was understanding the power of frequency back in the early 1900s. When you look at Dr. Raymond Rife, Royal Rife, he was understanding the power of frequency in healthcare, in medicine, in diagnostics. So when you think about all of these advances in technology and research, there's coming a day, I believe, very soon, that we are likely going to unlock even more potential uses for all of this frequency technology in fields ranging from all the way from communication to upgrading the way we communicate to each other with cell phones and other things to healthcare. And I really think in the next coming years, you're going to see tremendous leaps of advancements in medical sciences with the use of frequency, bioenergetic feedback, and energetic medicine.